Hey everyone, Coasters and Places here. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. If you do like roller coaster videos, roller coaster content, and travel videos, I'm trying to put out new videos at least once a week. So make sure to subscribe to stay tuned to watch more of those videos. Alright, so today, very exciting video for you all. I'm going to be ranking all of the US RMC coasters. So that's all of the United States RMC coasters from worst to best. Now, I will tell you, RMC, in my opinion, does not have a bad coaster. But if we're going to rank them, somebody's got to be on the bottom. And somebody's got to come out on top when we talk about RMC coasters. So, having had the chance to ride every single one of these, I think I have a pretty good opinion. And again, this is just my opinion. Your opinion will be different more than likely. But let me know what your favorite RMC coaster is in the comments below. Love to hear from everybody. And with that being said, let's get started with number 21. My number 21, so bottom RMC coaster, would be Fire in the Hole. Now, this does not mean that this is a bad coaster, because this is still a good coaster, but this is the only RMC family coaster. So they came in, redid Fire in the Hole at Silver Dollar City, and it's been great. So, again, it is a family coaster, whereas every other coaster on here is a thrill coaster, so you're just not going to get as much, thrill out of this coaster. But with that being said, the pros on this coaster is the theming is great. The indoor parts, the old town with the fire. I love the theming on Fire in the Hole on the original, and it's still with this new version of Fire in the Hole. And RMC did a great job with their family coaster for their first one. But again, it is just a family coaster, so it's just not as thrilling as the other coasters on this list. But still a good coaster, but somebody had to be 21. At my number 20 spot is the Jersey Devil Coaster. So this is an RMC Raptor, and it is the longer model. So wasn't the prototype one. This is one of the longer drawn out models. And while it's still a great ride, its elements just aren't as whippy as most RMCs. They're more drawn out. The dive loop, though, is really great. I do love that. And it's a little jarring. There's a couple potholes on the ride, which this ride is very new, which is a little concerning. But I really like this coaster still, but it's just the elements are more drawn out, the intensity is lacking, whereas the other RMC Raptors, they're very, very intense, and other RMCs in general are more intense than the Jersey Devil Coaster is, but it still has some great elements. It is re-rideable. But yeah, those potholes did kind of surprise me. I wasn't expecting that. Little rough, jarring moments there. So that does take away from the ride a bit as well. Number 19, I have to put the Wonder Woman Flight of Courage coaster. This is another longer, more drawn out RMC Raptor. Reminds me a lot of Jersey Devil, except this one, it doesn't have the potholes that you will find on Jersey Devil. The elements are still pretty drawn out. It's definitely missing some of that whip that the other RMC Raptors do have, but this is still a absolutely fantastic coaster. It's smooth. It's just missing some of that intensity, so that's just why I can't rank it any higher than at number 19. Number 18 is Stunt Pilot at Silverwood. This is one of the more traditional Raptors, just not as long as Wonder Woman Flight of Courage or Jersey Devil. It's more like the Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster or Railblazer. With that being said, the trains are still a little bit longer than the trains on Railblazer and Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster. So I feel like It doesn't have as much whip as those two, but it does have more whip, more snappiness, more intensity than Jersey Devil or Flight of Courage does. And also, the back row of Stunt Pilot, you gotta ride this in the back. This is 100% a back row coaster. Is so snappy, like you just get yanked over that first drop, and it is a crazy, incredible, absolutely amazing moment by far. And you just don't get that amount of yank on the first row. But with that being said, Stunt Pilot still, as I said, every coaster on this list is honestly excellent, and I do really enjoy a ride on Stunt Pilot. At my number 17 spot, I am going to put Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. So this is an RMC Raptor single rail, and it is short but snappy and packs a punch with a lot of those elements. They're just taken so fast, so intense, and especially if you're in the back row, it's that whip over that first drop is crazy. And this is better than Stunt Pilot because it has the shorter train, so it has those elements that can be taken faster. And boy, this coaster is a ton of fun. My only complaint is it's just short. Other than that, though, it's an absolutely fantastic ride. Number 16 is Railblazer, California's Great America. So this is a clone of the Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster. They're both pretty similar in feel and everything. I'm going to put this one slightly higher. I feel like I may have had a better ride experience on this one. But again, lots of fun elements, fast. The only complaint I really have about these RMC Raptors is they're just short. And this one is no exception. It is very short, but still it's a fun, thrilling ride. And it's smooth. Now we're going to start into the more traditional RMCs. I do think all of the traditional, so to speak, RMCs in America are better than the Raptor clones and Fire in the Hole. Some people may disagree with that, but that's just me. I prefer the traditional RMCs, but that's not to say that the Raptors are not great, because they are. But we're going to start that off with 15 at New Texas Giant. So this is the original RMC, the very first one, and it's still absolutely incredible ride. It doesn't have the inversions like the newer RMCs, and it's not maybe as crazy as the newer RMCs, but RMC as a company just innovates and makes things better. So their newer ones, they're more innovative, more crazy, but this one still packs a great punch. It's a super smooth ride with a lot of good airtime moments. Just doesn't have the inversions, and it's maybe not as airtime filled as some of the newer ones. Not as crazy, wild, but that doesn't mean it's not a great ride. I absolutely think this is the best ride at Six Flags over Texas. And again, just a wonderful RMC. Number 14 is Joker at Discovery Kingdom. So this is often looked at as one of the worst RMCs, and I do have it pretty low on my list, but it's still an RMC and it still delivers a great ride. It, to me, doesn't go as fast as some RMCs, and sometimes the problem with it is that it actually kind of almost seems like it's crawling. But I highly recommend riding it once it's warmed up. Ride it in the back. There's still a lot of good elements to be found, and a lot of airtime as well in this coaster. So it's still a great ride. Definitely a back row coaster. I just feel like it is slow to me somewhat. I don't know if anybody else really experienced that. But I still like it, still love the Joker, and it's still a great coaster. Number 13, I have Outlaw Run at Silver Dollar City. This is a very fun coaster. I have a lot of fun on this one every time I ride, in front or back, although I would say the back is better for this coaster. So one of my favorite moments on this coaster is when you hit the bottom of the first drop, and then you hit into that inversion. Absolutely amazing. If you are in the back row, you get some great ejector going down that first drop. But that inversion, they call it the 153 because it's named after the degree of banking. It's like a 0G roll without the final twist. Perfect inversion. I absolutely love it. Also the double barrel roll, a lot of fun. One thing that's keeping this coaster down though is that it can be a bit rough and bumpy, and it just doesn't feel, it's not the longest coaster, but it's still a complete coaster, I'd say. But again, can be rough and bumpy. That's the biggest thing that's keeping this coaster ranked where it's at 13. Number 13 is Goliath at Six Flags Great America. So this coaster to me is still smooth 11 years later, and it has the first drop, which is incredible. The hang time on the stalls fun. There is a lot of good ejector air time to be had with this coaster. The biggest issue is that it's just short, but for what it is, it's an incredible ride. I just wish this coaster was longer. If this coaster was longer, I think hands down it would be in the top tier RMCs, because it's absolutely crazy, fantastic ride, great elements, but the length is just what's keeping this down. Number 11, Wicked Cyclone. So I know a lot of people may rank this one a little higher, but when getting through these RMCs, it's hard to pick like the absolute best because so many of them are fantastic. So the reason I have this at 11 and not higher is the ending. Sometimes it absolutely like crawls through that ending, and that to me is just not enjoyable. Like, it loses its momentum, and it's done that more than once. Like, it's kind of a common occurrence when I rode this ride. And it's a small scale RMC, but it still packs such a great punch. Has 3 great upside down elements and moments there, and it's just full of ejector airtime though. Smooth. I really love Wicked Cyclone, but that how it slows down there just kills it. It's like, we should have a better ending. Why are we slowing down so much? That's why I put it at number 11. Moving into the top 10, and we have Twisted Cyclone at Six Flags Over Georgia. So this RMC, tad bit short, not terrible. And the pacing on this one is absolutely fantastic. Has great pacing. There's not a dull moment at all in this ride. Has some fun inversions. Pretty nice ejector air time. Again, the only knock on this is just a little too short. Other than that, I think this is a smooth RMC with plenty of good elements, and it keeps that pacing, unlike Wicked Cyclone where it loses some of that at the end. Twisted Cyclone does not have that issue. Number 9 is Iron Rattler, which is another earlier RMC. Oh my gosh, this one now, definite difference between this and New Texas Giant. This one does have one inversion. Its interaction with the query wall, I love how it does interact with the query wall. This thing is insanely fast. It's tall. It's just non-stop action. It doesn't really have a dull moment. It has some wonderful ejector airtime. The first drop is great. Yes, RMCs came up with newer, better creations, but Iron Rattler still holds up, and I think it will continue to hold up. I think the length is okay, maybe just a tad bit short because of how fast this thing is actually going. Other than that, Iron Rattler, absolutely amazing coaster, and I'm so glad that Fiesta Texas has this. Number 8 here is Storm Chaser at Kentucky Kingdom. So this is like Wicked Cyclone. It's a smaller RMC. It's not super long. It does have 3 amazing inversions, packs a lot of airtime into the layout, and it just keeps its pace. It's a lot of fun, and it has some insane ejector airtime though on this thing. There's hang time on the drop as well. The front is where this coaster definitely shines. And I really like Storm Chaser. I feel like it's an underrated RMC that doesn't get talked about a lot. And again, it's an absolutely fantastic coaster. Love the barrel roll drop, especially. It's smooth, buttery smooth. Just could use maybe a little bit more length on it though. Number 7, Wildcats Revenge at Hershey Park. So this is one of the newest RMCs around. And boy, is this thing like absolutely great. Such an improvement over the original Wildcat. It has a lot of sharp pops of ejector air time. It's pretty tall. Has some good inversions and elements. And honestly, it's just a very diverse, well-rounded ride. The 0G rolls on this thing stand out for me, as I think they're really great and pretty intense. I really like the 0G rolls, and it doesn't feel short either. This coaster doesn't. It feels like a complete ride, and I don't really have any complaints with it. I think it's so smooth and awesome layout. RMC did a great job with this. Number 6, I put Twisted Timbers, located at King's Dominion. Oh my goodness. So this is a relentless ride from start to finish. This is one of the fastest paced RMCs that exist. And I love the barrel roll drop to start the ride. And then the 3 triple camelbacks. Oh my goodness, it's unbelievable. Double up is relentless. So it's just an absolutely incredible ride. It's jam-packed with elements. It's smooth. It's intense. It's probably one of the best length rides because it's not overly long, but it's not short either. It's just an absolutely perfect ride. I really don't see anything wrong with this ride at all. It definitely delivers, and it just packs such a punch. Kicking off the top 5, I have Lightning Rod at Dollywood. So even without the launched lift hill, this thing still packs a punch. It does suck that we lost the launched lift hill, but if it means it's going to be more reliable, I'm all for it. In this POV though, it will have the launched lift hill, but reliability, big factor. So this thing, it just hauls. Like, it absolutely zooms. You feel out of control, and I love that feeling. It is not rough to me. It has some of the most intense ejector airtime I have ever witnessed in my life. And it has a great setting that goes out into the woods. Oh, and the best part of it is the quad down. Some of the best element I've ever experienced on a coaster. That quad down is just truly phenomenal. Lightning Rod is just honestly a truly phenomenal RMC. Number 4, I have Twisted Colossus at Six Flags Magic Mountain. So this is a super long ride, as it is a Mobius Loop RMC. If you can actually get a dual on this thing, oh my gosh, it makes it so much better. But the duals are unfortunately kind of rare. So some nice bunny hills, even for the pre-drop section. And oh my goodness, that drop over that big hill, incredible. Like, and the whole layout just is chock full of airtime, and has some good hang time at several moments on the ride. So that was really great. I think any seat on this coaster's works great. So, and you also get that drop twice when you come back onto the green side, and when you do have to go back up the hill for the green side. I know some people can say that that's a buzzkill, and I can get that, but to me I like it because it just means I get that much more of a ride. It gives you a little bit of a breather in between what you're about to experience on Twisted Colossus. So incredible first drop. Absolutely incredible. And it's very smooth, and the transitions are very snappy as well. And this is just absolutely incredible RMC. Number 3 is Airy Force 1. Okay, this thing is nuts. relentless start to finish. Oh my goodness. I can't even tell you, it just doesn't give up, and that thing hauls. So when you take those elements back to back, it's just relentless. It doesn't give up. Gives you a good out of seat experience. So the stall is one of the best I've personally ever experienced on this ride. And the insane whip and what they call the arcade roll, oh my goodness, crazy right there. So at the end, oh my goodness, that airtime, crazy at the very end. That's just some of the most intense airtime that I've personally experienced on a coaster, and I love it. This is a perfect ride. It's absolutely crazy. It's just a must ride for sure. Number 2, I have to put Iron Gwazi, and this thing is purely relentless from start to finish. So not only is it super tall, so then you get a great first drop, but it has all these fantastic elements, and when you hit the brakes, you slam into those brakes, you're just like, what just happened? That was literally my first thought when I rode this for the first time. I was like, what did it just happen? And that knows you got something special on your hands when you feel that way. It's got an outer bank, a death roll, the outside wave turn, incredible element there, and probably some of the best elements I've ever seen RMC put in a coaster. And it's just crazy, but and the length on it is actually pretty decent, but it does seem like it goes fast because it's so relentless, Iron Gwazi is. But it's an absolutely incredible ride, and it is just non-stop from start to finish. My number 1 coaster, best RMC in the United States, is none other than Still Vengeance, Cedar Point's masterful creation. So you gotta love the pre-drop, going over those airtime hills, a lot of fun. This thing is tall, one of the best things about it is the length. You get a really complete coaster, a good long ride, and this is like the airtime machine of airtime. You have non-stop airtime the whole ride through. It just does not let up. Absolutely relentless, and I love that about it. It's smooth, so even the inversions are absolutely great on this ride as well. So it's just the perfect combination of quality and quantity. Every single hill delivers, and those end airtime hills, perfect towards the ending there. So I want to thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you agree, disagree with in the comments. Please keep it respectful. And remember, everybody has their own opinion, and an opinion is just that. It is not fact. It doesn't make it right or wrong. And again, make sure to subscribe and like this video. Thanks so much.